and their implementations, and area of specialization and research. The area of specialization and research topic will handle what are the areas a civil engineer can upgrade himself so that he can find a suitable job in this XR industry, that is extended reality. XR is known as extended reality. Extended reality comprise of three different solutions for this matter. That is virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality is collectively called as XR, that is extended reality. So as the name itself says, it is an extended version of what you see in real. So that is called as extended reality. So you would have heard about XR and you have experienced the XR, and you would have watched about XR in movies like Iron Man. So Iron Man is a better example for Iron Man movie is a better example for XR. So we'll be discussing about how that is really useful in upcoming scenarios and various things. So to keep it simple, I have I made this thing as very simple presentation. So the complete session will be not more than 40 minutes. So let's get deeper into the session. So coming to XR, so first slide is only a few ideology about XR. It will be very technical, very less technical. I have kept very less technical aspect towards the complete presentation coming in this webinar. So, why? Because as a webinar named as XR application, so this is very less tech or very less technical things here. But this slide will explain you more context about what is XR. XR consists of three different technologies. XR is collective terminology to represent. So what are the three different technologies is virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality for that matter. Okay. So okay, it is simple. Virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality is the thing. Right from the name, you can try to understand it by breaking the names. Virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So let's concentrate on virtual reality first. So virtual reality is like the reality what you're seeing in this particular technology through this technology. If you are watching VR, you'll not be in the real world. You'll be virtually in a different world. So the complete reality what you are seeing in the virtual reality technology is completely virtual. There is nothing real. Everything is virtual. So that is called as virtual reality. And I think most of the people here would have experienced virtual reality in one way or another, either through college or in common places like malls. In malls right now, virtual reality based games are coming in. So if you have went to nearby mall in Coimbatore, as most of the people here joining this webinar from Coimbatore, you would have seen a virtual reality based gaming center in Coimbatore Mall. And even if you are in Chennai, all malls has a virtual reality gaming experience where if you can wear that virtual reality headset, you'll be teleported completely to a new world where you'll be racing a car, or you'll be playing a combat game, or you'll be experiencing something like there is a famous. Any questions? No? Okay. Okay, so that is virtual reality. And augmented reality, as the word says, what is the meaning of augmented? If you look at the meaning of augmented, it says that augmenting means there is a term called as augmenting. For example, if you search augment is an attachment to a real thing. That is the meaning of an augment. Okay, augmented reality is like you will see the real world only, but you can attach a imaginary object or a 3D model or a 3D object into the real world. Then it is called as augmented reality. Okay. And one more thing is like a mixed reality. Mixed reality is like what you see there is not completely real. It is a mixture of virtual and augmented reality is called as mixed reality, where for certain use cases, whatever you see inside a mixed reality headset is completely immersive, and you will not see any real world object. In some mixed reality experiences, it will be both way. part of the experience will be completely virtual, part of the experience will be virtual and real world. So this is called as mixed reality experience. And in mixed reality experience, you can interact with the real world objects, and you can interact with the augmented or 3D objects. And in mixed reality, one more thing is like it involves artificial intelligence to understand the real world and then map out more complex objects. For example, if you understand, for example, the distance between two pillars, if you want to measure that, mixed reality headset have a capability to measure between distance between the two pillars and then augment a value on top of it, or a 3D model on top of it. So these are technical classification of XR. So XR has three different technologies: virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality for that matter. Okay, so these are the three different technologies which we are going to see right now today, and most probably today's session will deal with the application parts and why civil engineering students or graduates or professors should equip themselves in XR, that is virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality, and trends. What are the trends of civil engineering and mixed reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality? Yeah. So today's session I'm classifying the XR application for civil engineering in these three divisions, that is planning, construction, and the maintenance. Okay, and I'll also showcase three different case studies in these three different regions, that is planning, construction, and maintenance, and why it is very important and why it is very relevant. And I'll also share few of the projects in which we our company work, and also in which I am part as a consultant, not directly as a company, but me as a consultant work in different AR/VR projects for civil industries and in the construction and particular domain in civil and constructions. Okay, so let me figure it out this into three different stages: planning, construction, and maintenance. We'll be looking in deeper. Okay, so before going into the case studies, I want to elaborate why civil engineering requires why civil engineering as a vertical will adopt XR technology more. That you need to know, right? Why you need to know that? Because if you know that only, you will know that how this complete industry is going to be revolutionize the your civil engineering or construction industry. Okay, why? Because that is a famous saying: you need to be updated, otherwise you are not going to be staying relevant in this market. For example, you know Kodak, right? Kodak is the manufacturer of leading manufacturer of camera. Okay, camera manufacturer and film roll manufacturer. Kodak is a leading film roll manufacturer. They didn't see that digital is coming, and they didn't update themselves. Because of that, Kodak had a huge loss as a company. They are the number one company in photography before digital cameras coming in. Right now, they don't have a suitable place compared to Nikon or Canon. Why? Because they didn't see that digital is coming. They didn't update themselves. Similarly, XR for civil engineering. Why XR for civil engineering? That we are going to discuss more in detail in orientation towards applications we are going to see. And in my perspective, why XR will play a major role in civil engineering is there are more assumptions. I have worked with more civil engineers. I'm not a civil engineer. I'm a triple E person and more into coding development. I'm right now an IT person, but studied triple E. Okay, something like that. I'm a triple E person, studied, and I'm right now working in IT, and I run an IT company right now. Why? Because IT is more about hardware and software. So I work as an IT company. I run an IT company. Similarly, why XR for civil engineering? That is very important, right? In my understanding, I work with civil engineering companies. I work with civil engineers. I work with civil engineering agencies and government agencies also in civil engineering sectors. Okay. In my understanding, comparing to all other engineering domains like triple E, mechanical, ECE, etc., the civil engineering job requires more assumptions to be taken on day-to-day basis. Okay, these assumptions may If your assumptions are not really good, you may end up losing a very huge amount. If your planning is very poor, you may lose more amount. And if your assumptions are poor in the planning stage, you'll be having more problem. If it is in the construction stage, you may lose if you are not planning your manpower properly, or if you are not planning your construction, or inspection is not done in a proper manner on day-to-day basis. If the assumptions taken on inceptions are wrong, then it is a huge loss. And at the same time, it is also a safety issue. If the assumptions taken on the construction stage or planning stage is not done with a proper ideology, then it is a huge loss. That will be discussed. So these are the ideas which I have as a person from an XR background, that is extended reality background, that is virtual reality, augmented reality, and extended reality for that matter. Why that will predominantly occupy civil engineering. This is my first ideology why civil engineering will be dominated by XR based technologies. So we'll be relating what kind of assumptions can be made easierly, and what kind of works can be made easier in civil engineering department when civil engineering based construction, industrial based applications of XR is coming in. How a civil engineer's day-to-day job role will change. Okay, and one more thing, if you learn XR, if you adapt yourself for XR, if you have a basic knowledge of XR, then your job will be secure. One more thing, and there are certain jobs will be eradicated, civil engineering jobs will be eradicated because of this technology, but equal opportunities will boom up on XR space, whatever civil engineering jobs. Why? Because in the mixed reality segment, at least in the mixed reality segment which I'm speaking right now, is like some of the calculations of civil engineering, there will be a separate person for calculation of bar bending schedule or some other constructional related works, right? That areas and other different areas will be automated. I'm not saying completely automated, but partially automated by this XR related XR and multiple other technologies. So that is the area where you have to adopt yourself for extended reality. Okay. So going to different case studies, I am going to showcase only three case studies. One in planning stage, one is in construction stage, another is in uh, maintenance stage. Okay. In these three stages, planning stage is a very important stage. I'm showing only one video. Maybe after, if I have finding more time, I can show you different types of videos. And one more thing, maybe I will discuss about the planning stage even in the second case study or third case study. I'll try it that way. Okay. So the one thing is like in planning stage, there are more amount of assumptions taken in the planning stage. One is aesthetic assumptions, how this building will look on the end. So your client may understand what is the civil engineer thought process behind it, how their thing will look. For that, AR/VR is used, XR is also used. And then one more thing is like, what are the other assumptions which is taken is like these much amount of concrete will require, and these much amount of uh, this much amount of steel is required, this much amount of sand is required. These assumptions are taken, right? So the video which I show in case studies 2 will help you to understand how this XRMR will help you on this. For example, right now you're making a drawing, 2D drawing, and that assumptions is made. And right now going to the field, you may fail. Why? Example, I will say, in my first job experience, I was working in a HVAC division, heating, ventilation, air conditioning division. Okay, in that, in the commissioning stage of that HVAC instruments in a very high building, very high profile buildings like Secretariat or something like that, and foreign senates or examples. I worked on that kind of projects. Senate of Australia and that kind of area. I have worked for HVAC construction and erection and planning and that kind of areas. So considering that areas, consider I am being an HVAC architect or HVAC consultant there. I have to work in closely with civil engineering persons. Okay, civil engineering persons have a separate drawings, and then HVAC guys will have a separate drawings, and maybe fire and safety guy will have a separate drawings. And one more, there are more things to do this way. Okay, I am given an overview of how the building looks and how am I doing this, and I gave a complete plan for HVAC and fire and safety equipment for that particular building. Other place I have placed a fire extinguisher, okay, in a place so that it is optimally setting the fire of the building. Okay, in that case, but in my planning, I have done it. That is purely based on the volume of the building. I have placed different fire extinguisher, but I don't know how a civil engineering drawing looks. Even I get the civil engineering drawing, but not viewing it in 3D. Okay, I'm viewing just in 2D and then visualizing, or viewing in 3D also. I'm not getting a very small common side that if I put this here, there is a pillar or there is a particular civil structure. If that is the case, I am not able to extinguish the fire which is backside of that pillar or something like that. So that kind of assumptions, very small assumptions, also may lead to heavy accidents and safety. So this is one of the assumptions. If that is viewed in 3D, you may not make wrong assumptions. That is one area which I saying in the planning stage at least. And one more thing is like a bar bending shape. So you have to calculate the exact amount of steel required for the construction, and then give to the your builder, and the builder will quote that to the final customer, right? If even 1 ton of a steel, that is a loss, right? So similarly, in the planning stage, if you can see the bar bend, the complete structure and the BIM model of it, and how the thing, if you can see the planning, you can get a new ideas to reduce the cost of the steel by having a new structural change or something like that. How we can do that? We can do a BIM and modeling and real-time analysis of stress, and you can change the objects and figure it out in real time. For example, I can change dynamically an object and see how that reflects. Okay, so these are the areas in which AR VR is used. We have 3 videos. You can relate to that. I'll be speaking to that in the upcoming videos, how this can be done, how in VR that can be done. The second video you'll see that really, and the first video which I'm showing is like just a visual assumptions. For example, always I have seen the civil engineers. For example, civil engineer will give a plan, and the final person will see and approves, and then goes for the construction phase. But after that, the final output, the consumer may not be, the customer cannot be satisfied. He said, this is what I have, this many ideas. So for that matter, I will show a small video which is only relevant for planning stage. That is to visual experience. That at least for a visual experience. For example, I will say this way. For example, the flat promoters, what they are doing is like they are building a something like a demo house, right? Using VR AR, they don't need to develop a demo house at all. Consider for constructing a demo house alone, what amount of cost they spend. I think people in the civil engineering background may understand this more better than me. So instead of that, how can a VR? This is a very basic level of application of VR and AR and MR. In upcoming case studies 2 and 3, you'll be seeing high-end application. So case study 1, I want to keep it simple, so I kept a very small application for you, Matt, for this matter. So this is an application which is developed by our teammates. So where you can change the this is a VR based application where you can change the tiles. So what tiles need to be done, how your home looks. For example, you are planning to buy a white color cot like this, and then what tiles will suit your house and how relaxing it is. So you can change these things and check whether my house looks good with the black color background of colors or something like that. So this is a very basic application of VR. Most of the people would have seen this kind of application, so I made this as a case study one. So this is in VR. So I can literally walk into my house and I can check how the lighting will also be, And for example, there is an architect giving an architect diagram, and that need to be conveyed to a consumer. You can see how the lighting will look if the glass is made this way. Okay, so these level of detailing, and you can also literally walk into that house and check. This is a very basic application which I want to showcase now. And moving to the next stage, in planning stage also, this is a VR application. In planning, I showed only VR. In other applications, I will. Yeah. In in planning also we use MR and AR. I'll be discussing that also in case study 2 by showing that video. Okay. Okay. So in the construction site, okay, I'll just play the video first. Then you can understand. This is not done by us. This video is a demonstration video which is done by some other company. I didn't work on this project also, but I'm showing this is how the industry is moving towards.
To address workforce and connected intelligence. Conventionally, the inspection process is done manually, often requiring more than one.
1 minute, ma'am. Can you hear the audio also? Hello, ma'am. Can you hear the audio? Or the
Yes.
video audio, ma'am? Not what I'm speaking.
Video audio is also audible, sir.
Ma'am?
Video audible is also audible.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
One person, and can take a long time to document and circulate the information to others. SRI's computer-aided system can accurately track user location as they move around a large job site. With instant access to an intuitively searchable digitized database, an inspector is able to accurately align and compare what is being built against the building information model. Manual measurement processes become automated and more accurate. Capturing and documenting data become less time-consuming. The inspector can snap photos on demand or add and retrieve virtual notes that stick to a location, which can be shared across multiple devices. Problem areas become easier to recognize, and serious concerns can be identified and shared instantly with those who can immediately respond, preempting major structural errors and costly build time. Information, including important inspection notes, design safety reports, and even contractor reviews, are stored and can be recalled for use in the planning of future projects. SRI's vision technology can change the landscape for construction inspection by providing efficiency and higher accuracy while saving time and money.
So the video, what you see is like a mixed reality mixed reality based construction inception. And this is not just mixed reality, and also AI. Mixed reality plus BIM plus AI is all about this solution in the construction industry. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is like, so these three technologies are making this job more simpler and more easier for the civil engineering contractors and civil engineering things, and this makes it to take a timely actions. So how this is done, to give a breakdown of how these technologies are done. So you as a civil engineer develop 3D modeling, and you also develop BIM. How many of you people here are learning BIM? If you are learning BIM, you have a very good scope in this XR based industries. For example, you don't need to just look your job in civil construction company alone. You can find a job in a XR company. XR company is that like an extended reality company, a software company which develops XR related softwares for civil engineering companies or create contents for the company. So if you are a engineer, a civil engineer who knows BIM, building information modeling, then you are most wanted right now in this XR space. That too for a civil engineering based XR content creation companies. Okay, so mixed reality. What you saw is mixed reality. So can you see this?
As they move around a large job site.
Sorry. So he is moving in a real world, okay, and he is seeing the completely virtual world and also part of a real world. So this is called as mixed reality, where there'll be a difference in reality and mixed virtual. For example, this is virtual reality. What you see is virtual reality, and what you saw here is virtual reality. This is virtual reality. Whatever you see here is completely virtual, okay, and whatever you saw here is completely mixed reality, okay. And here also you'll be wearing a headset. There also you'll be wearing a headset, okay, for that matter. And BIM, how a BIM engineer will be playing a major role is like all the VR development software. There are standard development softwares. You use Revit for BIM, right? Revit for BIM or Revit for 3D modeling, non-parametric modeling, parametric modeling, etc. Right? So similarly, VR, AR, and MR has a software tools to develop. We call it as, there are few software tools which I can mention is Unity and Unreal. Okay, if you are a BIM engineer and if you know Unity development options and Unity based development options, then if you can import a BIM drawing to Unity and make a few alignments towards Unity, how to make it look in mixed reality, then you have a very high demand in this area. How AI plays role here is like right now you saw this measurement, right? Measurement feature. So he right now clicks start measuring, function measure. So he does simply drag these two locations and it measures, right? Similar to a measuring app in your phone or something like that. So how this measures? It is as simple as that. This headset has a depth sensing camera which detects what is the distance between you and the doorway which need to be measured. Then what it does is like it relatively captures the distance between you and the camera's focal angle, and everything is calculated using artificial intelligence. While you draw a line, it will say what is the measurement. Okay, so this is the area where AI comes into play. So mixed reality plus BIM plus AI is the one of the case study which I want to say, which is going to change the biggest landscape in the construction industry. Consider for as said in the starting of the video,
Requiring more than one by saving time, cutting costs, and improving safety with intuitive equipment and connected intelligence. Conventionally, the inspection process is done manually, often requiring more than one person, and can take a long time to document and circulate the information to others. SRI's computer-aided system can accurately track.
So as you see in the video, one thing which I like to highlight is like, as they said, if it is if it is manual inspection needed, there are more than one person need to be there, and we need to give the help to seeing the drawing or something like that. Then after that, and if the drawing is not viewed properly, it may be an error and the kind of thing. And so there may be a manual errors, chances of manual errors. There is huge requirement of manpower and documentation. What they need to do, they have to visit the field, then note the things, and then come to the live person and update this. But this happens in a single click. Okay, so this will reduce the manpower. So if these kinds of technologies are adapted by majority of big construction industry, there will be less manpower required. So you as a civil engineer should improve your knowledge on BIM and EMMA so that you can anyways stay relevant to this market. Okay, this is one of the industry. So this is one of the case studies. As I said, involves inspection, construction monitoring, etc. The same kind of applications can also be used in the planning stage. The same kind of MR, what I showed in a planning stage video is VR. MR can be used something like for example, I have seen construction industry where there will be a interaction between manpowers from different parts of the world. For example, I'll show you one thing. Yeah. So two persons are wearing a glass and then discussing about the plan of a particular building. So they are discussing about the size and other objects. How the plan looks. So in planning stage also mixed reality can be used. BIM can be used. BIM plus mixed reality plus AI. Very less in AI, but in construction, real-time industry, it is AI will also come. Construction site, it will AI will also play a major role. But in planning stage, at least AR, VR, MR plus BIM will help you. And case study 3, it is in a maintenance thing. I have worked as a consultant in one of the project of this kind, where, for example, civil structures. For example, I will mention the two consulting projects which I have worked in this domain. Okay, one is for a substructure engineering company. Okay, another is for a government agency. Not I directly work with the agency or something like that. I work with another company as a consultant. So it is something like a one government agency, uh, one substructure agency. Substructures is like piling. They are good in piling. They are good in substructure foundations, etc. They are good in that kind of thing. So in that industries, I can say it as MR or I can say it as AR. The video which you are going to see is not MR, mixed reality. It's an augmented reality application or something like that. It runs on a mobile tab. Okay. I'll play the video, then I'll let you know how what is my my understanding of this is. The person is not wearing the person is not wearing any headsets right now. Sorry. Sorry. Here also they are showing in a mixed reality based also. Sorry. So let me come into the application part. What I have worked with. For example, I worked with a water and sewage authority of one of the countries. Okay, with a government agency, not directly through another company. Okay, so what they did is like, for example, for the civil engineers or the persons who planning for underground piping and their maintenance, etc., for electrical boilers for the sewage water or for the drinking water for that matter, they want to develop an MR based application which involves three different things. Not just this. People here will learn about this, right? Ma'am, people are learning about this, right, ma'am, for different aspects, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. So the this data plus BIM data plus mixed reality and IoT data are merged together in a single application, mobile application or a headset based application, where you can correlate between these three data and take a relevant decisions. For example, right now, one thing is happening right in India, at least in Chennai, Tamil Nadu alone. I have seen that in my street very frequently, for that matter. There will be a guy from an electrical uh, uh, TNEB who will be coming and digging the road. And other day, the person from a water treatment board will come and say that they have destroyed their pipes. Other way around, it will be like a sewage treatment. The water treatment that is Tamil Nadu Water Board will fight with Tamil Nadu EB for that matter, stating that they have damaged their electrical thing or something like that matters, right? Why? Because they don't know what is underneath the ground. They are making some assumptions to other do day work. Okay, so that is the thing which is done there, right? So real time this and real time IoT based data, real time BIM based data, all these things are giving the real time data to do this kind of attributes analysis works in after construction work. In this is a one of the example which I worked in maintenance related augmented reality, which is not exactly relevant to civil, but civil involves in the planning, construction, and maintenance of sewage, water treatment, and water pipelines under the ground also, right? If my understanding is correct. So this is one of the area which I work. Another area which similar to this we worked and we developed and we are developing right now is something is substructure. People know BIM 3, right? BIM 3 and BIM 4, which are coming up nowadays, right? One of the main aspect is so far in BIM, substructure. I'm not saying about the foundation. I'm saying more about the piles and other things. That drawings are not connected in BIM in a very good manner. So for that, BIM level 3 and BIM level 4, in that substructure is also considered as a very important point, and that is connected with BIM on that matter. And one more thing which I like to say is like. Uh, uh, Even for the above the soil structures, you can visualize things after construction or before or after construction. You can visualize things, but substructure visualization is a very key problem. Most of the things are done by assumptions and not by a real thing. That is one thing. So that is the area which we are working with the substructure company. What we are developing is like we are developing a substructure a visualization tool for AI. For example, you have to just enter the data. You don't need to design any 3D modeling. You don't need to design complete thing. You have to just enter a few data like soil data and strength, superstructure data and other things. And there will be suggestions of different models of substructures based on the artificial intelligence. And one more thing, you just as a civil engineer need to choose the suggestions, and based on that there will be a substructure modeling will be coming into play, and you can alter few substructure elements in that. And this is for a very small application, not for every construction I cannot do, but for a limited construction, for example for household residential alone or something like that. So this is done, and immediately clicking after the export, you can see the substructure in a GIS location. For example, you are planning to construct a bridge, okay, and you are pushing the substructure planning you did to the database. Then immediately BIM based data is pushed to the thing. A field engineer who are going near the construction site, if he wear this kind of device or his mobile application, if you look into that position, if he is in a particular GPS location, the video which you are see here, there will be a person wearing a coat, and you can also see a, can you see a, sorry, can you see a rod like structure which is on his back? So this will increase the GPS accuracy. For example, if you see in a mobile application, the GPS accuracy is it is a millimeter, it is in a meter level precision. But after wearing this suit and this kind of thing, it will give a I can even say millimeter accuracy or centimeter accuracy for that matter. So that will give a real-time positioning of how the substructure will look like. And he can, and for example, Europe has a substructure data set. For example, if there is a pipeline or piping or a piles or even a soil structure beneath your ground, US has a very good data. What data they have? Not UK, sorry, US not UK has a very good data which is stored by the government. For example, if you are putting a piling and the civil designer pushed that to the BIM server, it will compare with the government agency's data and will say that if you wear in MR class, and it will say that there is a rock bends in this level, in this area, in this geolocation, there is a rock bed at this so take the necessary precautions on the construction side, so that the work is completed as precaution or something like that, or on a plan is time basis. So this is one case study which I thought of sharing you in this area, where this IoT, BIM, and MR, all these are collectively given as a solution. Okay, these are the three case studies which I thought of presenting, involving AR, VR, and MR technologies. What are the trends which is going in this industry? Right now, I want to give you an overview what you can learn to be part of this changes coming in civil engineering background. The thing which I thought of sharing you is like, this is already done by most of the civil engineers. Parametric modeling is done. Non-parametric modeling tools like Blender, SketchUp I cannot say directly, Blender, Maya, and that kind of tools you have to learn. And parametric modeling also you have to learn. For example, Revit or something like that. And Unity or Unreal. Unity or Unreal is a 3D development engine only, where you can develop 3D outputs, videos, renderings, and you can develop VR, AR, MR, games, everything you can develop using Unity and Unreal. So Unity Unreal is a tool which is also a 3D tool. For that matter, you can develop 2D also, 3D also for that matter. Unity Unreal is a majorly use AR, VR, MR development tools. If you have a basic knowledge on Unity and Unreal, you are good to go in this XR industry. You can be an XR developer plus civil engineer. You will be having a very great value. And BIM, if you, the good thing is like BIM is right now come into the syllabus. So, but learn the BIM very thoroughly and very deeply, and having a very good understanding of BIM. Why? Because BIM is changing dynamically, and BIM-based solutions are coming in XR, VR, and MR space in, for students. And one more thing, this will be an added advantage, but without this knowledge also you can go ahead. But if you can improve your knowledge in programming, what is programming, what is this kind of thing, you have a very good scope in XR industry. So these are the skills which you have to improve yourself so that you can survive in this technology driven world, that too in a civil engineering background. So one thing which I like to say is like uh, technology adaptation is less in civil engineering. In all other technology manner, I'm not saying directly, but one technology which is adopted very fast by civil engineering companies is XR. Compared to even IoT IoT is one of the technology which is adopted very fastly by all industries, but not in civil engineering. But civil engineering also keeping up with IoT. But XR is the first technology which is going to be implemented massively by all construction industry. So this is one of the biggest tech adoption done in the recent decades by civil engineering companies. So you have to adopt to this revolution. Otherwise, it will be very hard for you. So trends in XR applications is, as I said, it is not about DR application development. It is about the various other civil related solutions or applications that need to be integrated. For example, VR plus BIM is separate stream. AR plus BIM is separate stream. Only AR, VR, MR is also a separate stream where you can specialize yourself in. Then AR plus IoT, MR plus IoT, VR plus BIM. So this is one thing, and this maintenance, more of the use cases which I said is like MR plus this plus IoT. That is one of the areas which is coming up very predominantly. So if you improve the knowledge in that section, so it will be very helpful for you. So this is the end of the session, and this is my contact details and my mail ID and my Insta ID. I have opened my Insta ID newly for professional page alone. So I will be posting about the latest technology trends there. If you want, you can follow me, and also you can ping me on this number in Telegram. I will add you in my Telegram group where I will also post upload the recent technology trends, not just specific to civil engineering. I'll be posting on recent technology trends about all the engineering domains. So you can ping me in my Telegram. I'll send you a link. You can join in a Telegram group to speak about technology innovations and etc. So that is one thing. You can mail me. What I will prefer is group. You can ping in group. If I'm not there to answer, there will be someone to answer on guide you on XR VR space. Why? Because it is not about my company. There are multiple company people will be joining that group, and my colleagues will be joining, and my different domain experts will be joining in that group. So if you the group will be active for this webinar people for very short time, so you can join there and have a look. And this is my LinkedIn ID. You can follow me on LinkedIn so that you can see about the latest technology trends there also. So this is the entire contact information, and this is all about the presentation. I think I made it crisp and clear about how the application is in AR, VR, and MR space in civil engineering background. Yeah, yes, ma'am. That's all, ma'am. You can go ahead for the question and answer session. Yeah.
Sir, really, it's a very wonderful session, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, you had given a lot of inputs to our students and for faculty and for researchers and for industry persons. It's really very useful. Now, the present technology you have explained.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, I request Ms. Divya, Assistant Professor of Civil Engineering, to give a vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening to everyone. I'm honored and lucky to have the opportunity to give you a vote of thanks on this webinar. Our chief guest, engineer Santosh Eswaran, have given a very wonderful webinar on the augmented reality and its level of application in XR, MR in each of our major works in civil engineering. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session today. You really made this session very informative. Finally, I thank our head of the department, principal, and chairman for their support. Last but not least, I thank all our participants for their presence and make this webinar a successful one. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity, first of all.
Okay, sir. So shall we